This week's episode of the Deck Young's podcast is brought to you by I've got fucking tickets to sell. 17th November, Waterfront Hall. I've just done it there last week. The roof should be fixed for next month. There's still a good handful of tickets left. All good seats too.
Oh.
So get on board. And also, Australia, I'm coming back again. But this
now.
time I've got a work visa. So if you're in Australia, let me just double check. On the 14th of December, I'll be in the Sit Down Comedy Club in Brisbane. Go into Google and type in Mickey Bartlett Sit Down Comedy Club Brisbane. You'll get the tickets. On the 15th of December, I'll be in the Comedy Store in Sydney. So if you go into Google and type in Mickey Bartlett Sydney Comedy Store, 15th of December, tickets will be somewhere. And then on the 16th of December, I'll be in Melbourne at the Basement Comedy Club in Melbourne. So if you go to Google, just like the last two, type in Mickey Bartlett Melbourne Sit Down Basement Comedy Club, 16th of December. The tickets will be available there. And then we'll go out, we'll fucking go for pints. I'm doing a mini Australia tour. That's all I have to say about that. Nev, play the intro there, lad, please, if you don't mind. Go on ahead. Yeah, what's up, motherfuckers? Yeah, what's up, motherfuckers? You're very welcome back to another episode of the Deck Chair Young podcast. Me, Mickey Bartlett, aka Deck Chair, and that there man over there, Connor Keys, aka Yums.
Hello.
We haven't been in since the live stream agony hour.
Let's talk about that.
And
First of all, let's talk about the fact that you went through all your tickets at the start. I forgot to mention Mandela Hall, 9th of December. Tickets to what a cunt.
Shastney sold it anyway. Fucking be alright. We'll pack that bad boy.
It's sold pretty well. So
Thanks
get
very
your
much.
tickets yet.
If you haven't got your tickets yet, get on board for the Deck Young staff too with the Bonnevilles.
No.
Forgot all about that. Just on the agony, because I haven't really talked to you properly since the agony. Now, I don't remember the second half of it.
Good, because neither do I.
And right. So this is how the next day I went. Well, no, because we went for a couple of stops afterwards. We went to McCann's.
McCann's.
Right. Lovely,
Sorry, McCann's.
Sorry,
Apologies.
lovely stout. Lovely pints. Right. Lovely time. I woke up the next morning on your sofa with you in your pants going, Mickey, get up the fuck. Ruby's going to school, and if she sees you, she's going to have a meltdown. And I was that hungover and drunk and delirious, I thought you were joking. I was like, good one. Good one, Casey. And you were like, no, fucking get up there and fucking hide. And I was like, what are you talking? I was that drunk. I was that drunk that night. Whenever I text you going, here, have you seen my jacket? And you went, it's in Mia's car. I was like, when the fuck are we in Mia's car?
I had a vision the next day of, I didn't tell you this.
No. I had a vision. I've seen you in your underpants now.
Yeah.
Emer, lucky girl. Jesus Christ. No wonder his voice is that deep, the length of it. I thought he was an amputee for a second.
I don't fuck, I'm in so much pain
You
today.
wee sore tummy.
We
Probably fucking taping that cock around it, you monster, you.
I have a bit of laryngitis.
You've a fucking
a
big dicky Venus is what you have. I couldn't believe it, the size of the package on him.
Dodgy
He's
hole.
not even fat. That's all dick.
It's definitely not. No, I think he must have been seeing my ball bag. I think that's what it was.
I don't know what I've
was
seen,
a
but my mouth watered.
It was a ball bag. I had a vision. So we ended up in the Shed of Truth.
Right.
I went down the next day, yeah, and there was, because I brought a bottle of whiskey down, and optimistically bought a bottle of gin as well down to the Shed. Now, funnily enough, the whiskey was the only thing that was drank.
Was there much of a drink?
Not an awful lot, but
I have grown.
I didn't tell you what we did.
What do we do?
So we went in to our house then to go get ready for bed, and then my dinner was sitting out under the tinfoil. Do you remember that?
Not only do I remember, Connor, I've got photos of it.
Oh, you do not, do you?
We made Sunday dinner sandwiches
We made Sunday dinner sandwiches, right?
and a cup of gravy.
With beef space shooters.
I was unreal, wasn't it?
Revelation, ladies and gentlemen, beef space shooters and gravy. But here's the thing. So there were two plates sitting out. One was on a plastic plate, Ruby's.
I am listening to you. I'm just looking for the photos of this.
We normally save the dinner for Ruby for next day. And then the other one was mine. I said to you, that's my dinner because I wasn't here this evening. Me and you fucking tore on it. So, turned out it wasn't my dinner. It was Emer's father's dinner for the next day.
Sorry about that, Emer's daddy. Have you tried Space Raiders?
She got up next day and goes, did you eat that dinner? I was like, it was mine. She goes, no, it's not. It's from my dad. I was like, Mickey had it.
We get tore right into that, like.
Right, I did.
Because I do remember that drunken. Do you know them drunken whispers? Shut up.
And then the two of us laughing like fuck.
Don't eat all of it. Don't eat all of it. Don't eat all of it. Oh, for me, I was lonely. I actually, to be fair to when you went to bed, no, you didn't know I was doing this. I remember being like, I'm going to eat another one of these. But you know what's upset? I also had a pizza. I had to, I had to go for a wee fucking. I was like, I need to get something to eat, and I went out to Giuseppe's, and they were closing up, and I was like, you wouldn't have a wee pizza for a wee fucking.
You did not.
And then the girl working there, God bless her, was like, here, I made that one for myself. Should take that, and I was like, no. I'm not eating your fucking pizza. And she goes, I'm sick looking at pizza. Hey, go on, you have it. And I stood outside McCann's when you were all chatting.
You fucking.
And when I think I came back in and said I was had a shite or something, but I ate the whole pizza.
You fucking bastard. I did not know that at all. So whenever I came in here then after because this, I had to come in and clean this up because it was a fucking mess. A lot of limes and shit lying about. But you know what I did do? In the competition of the agony hour, we will see. I have this.
That's what I drank.
That's what Mickey drank. You can see the level there.
In an hour, like.
I know. And then
Connor Keys? You fucking dark horse, you.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what?
And you were pouring your own to it, wasn't even me.
I know. My wife and daughter was watching. Were watching live, and Emer was like, "Yeah."
By the way, I just want to say, his wife and daughter are two different people.
Yeah.
He's from Tyrone.
Did you see how much he's drank? That's all they were watching on the TV. It was like, look how much he's drank now.
Fair play to him, because again, that's one of those. I keep forgetting. There's times that I have the reputation as the hardened drinker because I have the complexion of it, and most of my time spent doing that. But when you go toe to toe with Big Keezy,
it's just something to do with space. I have a lot of space to fill.
It's nothing to do with that at all, man. It's just fucking. It's that Dex drinking it all up. That's what it is.
No, there's
It's that big Conaconda you got in there.
it's the Morgan Spice ball sack.
I don't know what it was too. That was because we went from whiskey to a couple of pints. Once the 2 pints of stout, that was me gone, lad. Gone.
I said to Nev, I was like, sure, what time did you get home? So we left you in the pub. And he went, no, you didn't. You and Mickey walked me out to my car.
That's right. We tried to get in the car with his wife and all.
I don't even remember that. Sorry to Nev's wife.
That was a big night.
Not as big as the fucking hangover. Oh,
It was bad.
Jesus. Oh,
I had one of those days where I ate all day. I had a McDonald's and a Burger King and a Nando's
Jesus.
in the same day. And we were supposed to do a podcast on Tuesday and we couldn't because I could not leave the toilet. I was scutter trucking.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it was a bad thing to do the week before the fucking Waterfront as well because I had a big week. I should have been prepping for that mentally. By the way, thanks to everybody who came to Waterfront.
Yes,
Remember I did that
there
there last Friday?
Aye.
Sure, it's nothing to me now. Sick look at the place.
You're on to your second one now.
Yes,
Yeah.
tonight, fucking place is still cold from last year. The roof isn't fixed yet. And I drove to the Waterfront and didn't get drunk. Got to park underneath the Waterfront though. Felt like Batman.
Are we drinking on the 17th then?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna have to fucking book
We
it
will
in.
be getting schnattered.
Are you staying up in the big smoke?
I'll look for it. I'll say I couldn't. I was supposed to stay up last time. There was no hotels available
Alright.
because Luke Combs was playing Belfast and Shane was in the Opera House. I was in the Waterfront. There was a load of stuff on that night. So there wasn't a hotel to be found. But yeah, we definitely will. I'm only back from a wee tourist excursion around Scotland as well.
Seen that?
Me and Crocodile Dundee went for a wee fucking road trip. And I went full tourist. And
Seen that? I
I have to tell you, I'm very proud to be Celtic. A lot of history to Scotland now. Saw 3 castles, Connor. 3 of them. All different types of castles.
right.
One was a stately home, really.
Uh-huh.
If anything, it's nice. Then I went to Edinburgh Castle for the first time ever.
Right.
More of a fortress.
Yes.
And then I went to like an abandoned fucking shitty one. Just got the history, boy.
If any one of us decided to go on a fucking I've seen Castle Welland, I've seen Castle Derg. You know what I mean? I've seen plenty of castles.
Castle vending machines.
Aye, but I would never be sucked into that.
It's not sucked in. See, I do like a bit of history, right?
But there's more than history to this, Mick. There was romance involved.
It wasn't romance at all.
There
It
was
just,
fucking
do you know what it was?
romance
Here's what I'll say this, right?
And it doesn't suit you to be romantic. That's why we're
it
concerned.
wasn't even romance. I'll say this, right? Because you never really think about it with Australians, right?
What?
So when I went out to Australia to see the good lady, right? We were driving one day and a parrot flew across the road, and I was like, "What the fuck?" fucking green birds. And she was like, the fuck you, it's a fucking bird, can't chill out, you fucking weirdo. Right? And then, fair enough, I was like, all right, I'll keep my mouth shut then. No, I'm not. But because Australia's only 200 years old, she hasn't seen old shit.
Oh, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I picked her up in the airport, and within 10 minutes, she hadn't seen old shit and cows, and within 10 minutes, the woman had the window down going, moo!
You can't look at a green parrot, but
Can't look
she's
at a green
fucking
parrot,
mooing
she's
a
mooing a
cow.
cows. She's like, sheep, cows, old thing, sheep, old thing, cows. And then, but we went to, we were driving to Edinburgh, so we're going to have 2 days in Edinburgh. And on the way down, I just saw a sign for a castle, and I went, fuck it, we'll just go now and go see one. Lethal.
Right?
You got the full tour of all the fucking, I can't remember the name of the castle, Auchnacflickenny, I don't know. But then, right, went to, because she's man into antiques and stuff, right, so drove past this place, big antique,
What age is she?
30,
Okay.
but in Australian years.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
74.
Aye. And went to this antique place, and there was a load of old books sitting. So we just, and weird as fuck, the two of us started whispering like we're in a library. It was 2 bookshelves. But for some reason, we were like, shut up. And we're like, right, let's see, just look through the fucking, just try and find the oldest book you can find, right? And I never really thought it would be an interesting thing to do. But I'm kind of, I haven't stopped thinking about this, right? And this is a wee bit fucking weird. It's not even that funny, so feel free to make a cup of tea. So, going through these old books, and you can find the letter, like wee notes people have written
Oh,
to
aye.
give them as presents, right?
Uh-huh.
And I found these 2 books. It was 2 books of poetry from 1822,
Fuck.
and it was a 15-year-old boy and his sister bought on these 2 books of poetry as a birthday present and wrote these wee notes, right? So I was like, I'm sitting holding a 200-year-old fucking birthday present here, and part of me was like, I'm going to find that wee fella and where he's buried and bring the books, right? And I was all fucking, getting all Nicolas Cage. What if we pull there's a trapdoor? There might be anything in here, right? And then I started thinking, what if this young fella used these books to get the ride? Do you know
Don't
what I mean?
tell me you learned some poetry.
No, I didn't learn any poetry. Fuck that. I'm not a geek, like. Do you know what I mean? I just felt like Indiana Jones for about half an hour. And then,
In fact, you're more like the young couple of the hurricane.
well, no, but then
Just found a book and went, ooh.
no picture. But then walking through this antique place, and my girlfriend's like, oh, fuck, look at this. And I went, toys! And there was just a big lump of Star Wars toys in the 70s, and that was me for an hour.
In a castle?
No, in a
All right,
antique
okay.
place.
I'm thinking.
In the castle, there was no toys in the castle.
I was
There was
gonna say,
no,
not
blood
loads of
and
toys, no.
guts and stories of war. Tell you what, them English bastards.
No. We can't. Is
Things they did to that poor Edinburgh Castle, sir.
that right?
Oh, God. Spit roasting people, not even the way you see on the internet.
Oh, all right.
Aye, cooking them. Shocking. Also scratched the Audi twice.
Some bastard scratched my car yesterday.
You joking me? Mm-hmm. Like heated or
No, like a fucking somebody drove out of the parking
drove
space.
out? Driv. Come on.
I'm throwing you fucking dick.
I mean, Jesus Christ, this podcast goes out everywhere. You know what I mean?
I drove out, right?
Uh-huh. The whole shop talk clean after.
Shock. The
Fucking
side,
the sumps away,
the
like.
side shock was fucked. Some bastard fucking drove past and didn't leave a note or anything, just scraped the whole side of it.
Fucking cunts.
But
See, it was more aggravating.
how did you do
See, that's the
yours?
problem. It's more aggravating than it was my fault. So, in Edinburgh, we parked up in St James's car park in the shopping centre, right? Mm-hmm. Two things happened. One, knowing Edinburgh a wee bit, I booked a hotel, booked a wee Premier Inn that had free parking, because I know Edinburgh's a nightmare to get parking, right? And I'm not a bougie man,
Okay.
right? I'm not a fancy pants, right? I don't even have enough of money anymore. And walked into the room in the Premier Inn, and I just went, nah, right? And immediately booked somewhere else, right? Right.
Fuck off.
Problem is,
Yeah.
right, man, it was stinking.
All right.
It was fucking rotten. Like,
Bad.
bad. Like,
Oh, Jesus.
one of them situations where I'm like, normally I don't give a fuck where I'm sleeping because I'm going to go out. It'll be
Yeah,
a gig and I'll be drinking and I'll just pass out and get up and leave. But I was like, we'll stay here for 2 nights.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I brought that poor cutty the whole way up Australia and dragged her around Lurgan for an afternoon. I can't.
No, you can't make her
Do you know what I
suffer
mean?
that there.
Like,
So.
go to sleep. Go to fucking sleep. Right? So, found this other hotel. Was like, that's nice. We'll stay there. Right? Reasonably priced. Wasn't fucking too dear or anything. But the only parking was a 15-minute walk away. And I was like, nah, fucking.
Of course you're not.
Started Googling car parks. Right? Found a multi-story car park in Edinburgh. Google map it. Start driving around. Find the multi-story car park. And it's the back of these houses. Right?
Right.
I go, this is a weird place. to have a multi-story. Right? Who is it? Tony Stark? Right? What? Right?
Machine comes and lifts your car and takes it away.
Man, it was a fucking lift, right? So some fucker in Edinburgh has gone, I'm going to make $1 million off this, and they've made a wee car park, right? So you basically, it's literally down an alleyway, all the wee cobble streets. You see this red door, and I was like, I can't be a fucking... And it was closed anyway, so I just drove past it. Then I Googled it. It was like, oh, that's the... So it's... No, Just Park, the app you use for the... Right? It's one of them. So I pay for it in the app. You drive around, put a fucking punch a wee key code in, and the lift door opens, right? I swear to fuck, I've seen fucking wider baby legs. I couldn't think of anything else there.
No, I was visualizing.
See, when I was doing that, I was thinking, come on, think of something narrow. Think of something narrow. I've seen wider straws.
Right.
I've seen wider spirit levels. No, that's pretty wide. We'll stick with baby legs. Right?
Baby legs.
So, you're supposed to drive into a lift, right? Now, it's in a cobble street in Edinburgh where there's beer kegs and all this sort of shit lying around. So, you're meant to go into, like, basically drive in, like, straight forward. But there's no way to go in straight forward, right?
Because you're coming from an alleyway.
Right?
Fuck.
So, there's a weight limit on it. So, the passenger has to get out of the car. So, I'm like, right, get you out and you direct me in, right?
Oh, no.
Now, obviously, this is a new relationship.
Uh-huh.
She's never seen me angry before.
Oh, Lord.
Right? So, as I'm trying to get into the car park, she's trying to direct me in, and I'm realizing I can't get in. And because I'm in an Audi TT, I can see fuck all. The angrier I'm getting, the quieter she's getting. Right? So I'm going, cut fucking fuck, bastard bitch. And she's going, I'm like, fucking cunt. If you just fucking try a little bit, fuck, Nazi bastard, right? And as I'm trying to pull in, the left door starts to close because it's like, oh, you're taking too long. So the fucking left door closes on the left-hand side of the car, scratches the fucking bottom of the bumper, right?
Fuck off.
So I try to drive in a wee bit more. The wing mirror then starts fucking bending. I go, fuck. So start reversing back out. I scratch the fucking side of the thing. Then the wing mirror snaps forward, and I think the wing mirror is gone. And I'm like, yeah, fucking dirty, rotten, fucking... If you try and... Maybe... Right? So eventually get the car into the fucking lift, and I start thinking, this is how I die. Right? I've seen Final Destination a couple of times. I'm like, this is how it fucking happens. Right?
Squashing the TT.
There's not enough room to get out of the car in the lift.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Right? So you have to sit in it. Right? And it says press rubber strip to move the lift down. The rubber strip's fucking hanging off the wall. There's sparks flying out of it and shit. Right? So I get out of the lift, and the lift goes down, and I drive into...
At what point when you're doing that, do you think, fuck, 15-minute walk would be better?
I don't, at no point. Fuck that. I've just been traipsing around castles for 2 days, not walking anymore. But then, man, there's 4 car parking spaces in it. And all I could think is, fuck Edinburgh, fuck whatever rich bastard thought this was going to be a fucking good idea to have a wee car park, right? When I get into the car park, there's about 340 signs being like, we accept no responsibility for damage to vehicles. And I'm like, of course you fucking... There's no end to that story. Apart from the next day, I had to then drive back out of the fucking thing.
Well,
I managed to get away with it, but there was on the way back out of it, there was a. Do you know whenever you go, there's no need for there to be a dip here. So to drive straight into that lift, you should just be able to drive straight in. But there was a wee fucking whoop, wee sneaky whoop, right? So you have to get out, punch the wee key code in because you can't have a passenger, right? So I had to punch the wee key thing in. The lift door starts to open and the lift's going, oh, are you here? Oh, I don't know if you're fucking... And then I go to like sort of move forward gently and I'm still trying to angle it around and then I realise there's a wee fucking ramp. So then it lips forward and I fucking crash into the lift, or like just bump the lift a wee bit. So my wee TT's now got fucking red and white racing stripes all over it.
Oh no.
I'm fuming. That doesn't even compare.
Oh fuck.
To the level of anger I experienced last night. Right? So, tell you a couple... First of all, Helen Barr, comedian from England, right?
Oh, yeah.
Recently done Live at the Apollo. I met her in Sydney last year, right? And she was doing Belfast. She was in Black Box last night. She messaged me going, here, listen, do you know anybody who could open for me at the Black Box? And I was like, fuck it, I can do it. If I'm home, fucking nothing to do. I'll jump on. It'd be a pleasure. Because she's genuinely, and after watching her show last night, I can't praise her highly enough. One of the funniest comedians I've ever seen.
Really? Okay.
Start to finish. So funny, I forgot it was a stand-up. Right? I was just full audience member. Fucking tears tripping me. So, I was grand. Do my set, introduce the break. and go to the bar to get a couple of wee drinks, right? And this woman comes over to me, and I had one line in the thing about having psoriasis, and she goes, "You should get a dog," right? Out of nowhere, right? And I'm like, right. I do like them. I'm thinking, are you going to sell me a dog?
Yeah, such a random thing.
What do I have autism? What did I say during that? And she goes, for psoriasis, the dog's great for psoriasis. And I'm like, is it? Right? And she goes, I do a lot of homeopathy, and I've got a wee shelter that refugees can stay in. So I just work with a couple of people, and they've all getting, because of stress, they're developing psoriasis, and I have dogs. So I suppose you can't have dogs with traveling and stuff, but I have dogs. It changed my life having dogs. Definitely get dogs. They're great for psoriasis, and if you should try things for psoriasis for your gut health, and I'm going, because obviously fix it, I know, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm sitting there and I'm being all nice and stuff, being like, oh, that's fucking nice wee woman, wee hippie talk. I did chemotherapy. Do you know what I mean? I'm into...
Showing her you're one of them.
You know what I mean? I'm all fucking... I hear you. I didn't get the vaccine either, pet, don't worry about it. Fucking saying nothing, you're one of us, right? And then she goes, and you've come such a long way since the last thing. You've got so much better since the last thing you do stand-up. And then it clicked in. It fucking clicked in to who she is. Do you remember I told you the time I did the black box, and every time I got to the end of a joke, a woman went, no! It was that fucking bastard, right? I swear to God, because I was going, I recognise her from somewhere. And then she goes, you've got a lot better since the last time I seen you. See the speed that my brain went from, homeopathy and alternative medicine's a great thing, dogs are great, to you smelly, dirty, rotten, hippie bitch. As soon as she said it, I went, in my head, she stinks. I was like, you fucking... Do you know whenever you can smell the cigarette smoke from between someone's teeth and they haven't smoked recently? Do you know that smell? And I was like, you need a fucking... If your dog smell like you fucking stink of onions, you fucking smelly...
Oh, man, I remember that. You tell me about that, about the... No.
That was the one time that other comedians went, are you all right? Usually when you die in your hole, a comedian laughs at you. Other comics are going, man, are you okay?
You okay? Jesus Christ.
That fucker coming back 10 years later. I hate being a comedian. But Helen Barr, go check her out.
Excellent.
Absolutely outclassed.
Is she Australian, is she?
No, she's English.
Oh, she's English?
Half English, half German.
Right, okay.
Very, very funny woman. I can't even think of her bits. And it was very interesting as well to watch someone. She didn't have a big crowd in. She only had about 40, 50 people. But again, that for Belfast, great, because you know yourself, there's a lot of sort of people supporting homegrown stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're not known here, it's hard to get
anybody.
Like, yeah. So she got a good crowd in. Had a fucking great audience of people, and all from her podcast as well. So it was good for me to open. First of all, open for a woman, I think, is always interesting because I can't go full dirt.
Yeah, if you're the warm up. Yeah.
If you're open for, because it just changes the fucking vibe. Also, because the audience was coming from her podcast, there was a lot of women in the audience. So I'm like, I can't even go full filth because I look like a...
Aye, you look
like a piece of shit, do you know what I mean?
You're on a tightrope last
So you have to sort of fucking change your set around. I was like, oh, this is fucking great. But I forget what I was going to say. Nope.
Good. So yeah, you had fun?
Sorry. Nope. That's what it was. She came off stage after a fucking belter, and I was like, that's the funniest fucking thing ever. I was like, from start to finish, it was hysterical. And watching somebody else crush a gig and come off and immediately go to her notebook and go, what didn't work? And I'm like, what didn't work?
Mad, like everybody has their own gauge of what success.
Yeah. Like, so I had the same thing in the Waterfront. Full disclosure, came off stage, hated every second of it.
You did say that to me, aye. What was the reason for that?
Just fucking... There was one cunt that was heckling, and it was from the same seat that somebody heckled last year. There's a wee bit in the Waterfront on the ground floor, in the back row at the middle, where the acoustics are perfect for heckling because the balconies are above you, and it feels like they're safe, like they can't be seen. So I was getting towards the end of the show. Yeah, he chirped in a couple of times with fucking blah blah, and I would take a sip of beer, and he went, little bit of the bubbly, and I was fucking fuming. Do you get that point where you go, I've already dealt with this?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah. We're getting to the best bit.
And the people who do that don't realise that everybody for 3 rows in front and 3 rows behind is going, fuck up, you dickhead.
People were raging on him.
Aye, I seen it last night in Ulster Hall.
Aye.
boys shouting out, and you can see the people all around going, "Fuck on,
Do
shut
you
up."
think it's getting worse? I know comedians
It's
talk about
definitely
it quite
getting
a
worse.
bit.
Aye. Yeah. I don't know if it's this entitlement thing that people think, well, I'm going to join in because I've paid to come in here. Forget about the other 1,000 people that are there. I'm going to do that. It's a weird fucking.
I hear a lot of people are talking about it, and it's coming from because comedians are releasing so many clips of crowd work. You've now got an audience of people who
Yeah.
are seeing them on TikTok and are going from TikTok and not knowing that's not how you behave.
Yeah.
And not thinking that it's. Do you know, people releasing crowd work bits are the reason they're doing it is because they're not burning their material.
That's exactly why I do it. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're not burning anything that's going to be in the show. And the odd time you'll get a zinger where somebody shouts something out and you get to put someone down and it's great.
Yeah.
But when you see a lot of people do it now where they're actively going out to do crowd work, filming that and putting it up.
Yeah.
Great thing to do, nothing wrong with it, but it does
It changes the
change
dynamic
what the
of
audience thinks will
thought,
happen.
Yeah. I was out last week with Reginald D. Hunter for 5 nights, and great experience and all the rest. But the first night in Coleraine was tough. It's hard work, and I hadn't done it in a while. Where I was first out again because I've been with Murphy for a few years. Murphy goes out first for 10, I know. So this was me coming cold to a room of people who paid for Reginald D. Hunter, didn't know there was support.
Aye.
The usual story, and so that was out. Did my bit, and it went well. And then he came out, did well, okay. And then at the end of it, he just has a line. I think somebody told me he says this all the time. He was like, "I have now contractually fulfilled my obligation
Yeah.
to be funny for 50 minutes." And the woman went, "You gonna start now?" And he went, "What?" And she said it again. So she got 2 laughs
Aye.
because the audience fucking erupted the first time and then erupted the second time. And he had nothing to come back with.
Aye.
He had nothing. And then he apologized to me afterwards. "Man, I'm so sorry. I didn't have anything in my hand to..."
I don't think it's appropriate to do the voice.
Why not? He's American.
That's true, he is. And he is from the deep south, and that's exactly how he talks.
Well,
And if you see him, you go, I bet you he sounds like it.
fuck it, I can't.
No, he's got, because remember he had that, I remember him having that weird heckle in Oma years ago, and
Oh, aye.
because in his set, when he's talking to other people, he addresses people as ma'am and sir. He's very polite, got that
Oh,
kind
he
of
still
deep south
does,
charm.
yeah.
Right. And I think what happened this one night, he said something, and a woman in the audience went, "Ma'am." And I think she just did it because he had done it so many times and it's so silky and smooth
Yeah, do you want to
that
repeat
she
it?
repeated it out loud in her head. And he went, "What the fuck did you just say?" You're like, oh, she forgot she was white. Oh no. Oh no.
Well, we had done a gig we were in Portaferry on the Friday night, and we ended out for a wee smoke, a wee jazz cigarette, as he calls it, and that was okay. So I left.
It's amazing how the lads who like smoking weed get you on the support.
It's weird.
It's strange,
It's very,
that.
very strange how it works out. And
You have vape for me, by the way?
no,
Sorry.
maybe tomorrow. I'll know. So anyway, that was okay. On the Saturday, the promoter from Galway will send me a message. "Connor, can you send me your mobile number?" And I thought, right, okay. And I said, "Is everything okay?" He goes, yeah, it's fine. And then I got a message from Reg on Instagram. "Yo, man, what's your mobile number?" And I was like, oh, I thought, oh, fuck, the rugby's on tonight. This was Saturday night. Ireland's on at 8 o'clock. Fucking his show was on at 8 o'clock in Letterkenny. I think, oh, this is going to be... Phone rings, it's Reg. He goes, "Mr. Connor Keys." I'm not going to do the voice.
Do the voice. It's
Okay,
better
I'll
than
do
the
it.
voice.
And he goes, "Man, do you remember that little bit of exquisiteness you gave me last night?" I was like, "Oh, yes." I give him a pre-roll joint of my own. And I was like,
You get McKeezy one?
"Yeah." And I go, "Man, can I get some of that exquisiteness down the road tonight?" I said, "Yes, no problem. I'll bring
From
it down."
now on,
Yeah.
here, forthwith, forsooth, let's refer to all your joints as the exquisiteness, because I agree.
Exquisiteness. So yeah, I said to him, I was like, "Well, now you know when you're back in Ireland who to
Who
contact."
the fucking talk to? You're the dealer's dealer.
But yeah, it was a good experience. It was nice. He's a lovely man. Really, really gentleman. Like, but
Aye. Oh, yes, he's a fucking... I remember bumping into one time in Galway, and he, again, couldn't remember he remembered me.
right.
Because I'd met him once very briefly on something. And he was like, "How you doing, young man?" And I'm like, oh, "Give me your dick, yeah, sexy fucker, yeah."
It is. So it is quite for me. It's quite surreal because I would have watched the wedding years ago, like, and I loved them. And then the next thing you're standing,
Yeah,
and you're like, what the
there's
fuck?
that bit that always goes around. I think it's great. Where he talks about the Irish guy saying we're the N words of Europe, and somebody getting offensive. He's like, "Oi, oi, don't worry about it. I speak drunk." And he says about Irish people, he's like, "It's like you white, but you don't have the entitlement." And it's weird because you go,
That is us.
Because I've talked to a lot of my girlfriend about because there was that vote last week. It didn't go through for the Aboriginal thing in Australia. Did you
Oh,
hear
right,
that?
yeah, see that.
Which is fucking insane. But she doesn't understand when I go, I had to come here to realize I was white.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a lapsed Catholic from Lurgan, so
yeah. Well, this is the
Do you know
thing.
that weird-
We're from a place where oppression wasn't based on skin color, and the rest of the world can't understand that because oppression is always black and white in
Right.
America. That's the way they say it. But so I always love the photograph of there's two soldiers, one was white, one was black, carrying a guy out from the Craigan in Derry, and the blood's pushing off the boy's head, and the black guy's holding the truncheon, and you're like, oh, is this?
yeah.
Is this? Yeah.
We shall overcome.
Well, this is the thing. This is what I said to Reggie. I was like, Reggie, you don't understand. Like, we were talking about the whole civil rights thing and stuff because of the what was going on at the moment. And I said, you don't understand. Like, we copied everything from Alabama.
Yeah.
What? I was like, well, we shall overcome the song, all that sort of stuff, the civil rights, one man, one vote.
Yeah.
I was like, what? And so, but on the first night in Coleraine, that was the first night of the 5.
Aye.
He walked on and go, so nice to be back in Ireland. And then,
You forget you're in Coleraine, lad.
yeah. And he didn't know
That's
what.
not even 2023 up there.
Yeah, he didn't even know. He didn't know what happened
Aye.
until he came off stage. And I said, "Do you know what happened there?" And he goes, "Man." He goes, "I didn't know what the fuck was going on." I said, "That's fucking."
Aye.
You said Ireland. So the next night he goes, he told the story of being, and I didn't know I wasn't in regular Ireland no more. But yeah, so I was going through the whole thing with him, and I showed him the picture of like the mural in Derry of like John Hume, Mother Teresa, and Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh, I used to all hang out together.
Yeah.
3 of them. What a party that was.
Oh, while drinking
Aye,
session.
oh, Jesus. Bono would phone me. Oh, don't answer the phone. Don't answer fuck it. Martin Luther King, like, I'm in the bath. I don't want to talk to that jive ass motherfucker.
But it's because they don't know anything else. They only know racism.
Yeah.
They don't
It's
know.
weird.
They don't know about sectarianism or xenophobia or anything like that. They
Yeah.
just know racism.
And
That's
do you know what's the thing that, like, we would really talk about it. I suppose we'll get into Israel and Palestine in a wee second. I think it's a hot topic.
it. No, we'll be alright. We might skip it.
Might skip it for the crack. But there is a thing where I found myself explaining, just spent that much time in Australia this last wee while, when you start explaining Northern Ireland to people and you realise how, one, people don't know anything about it. You then, like you just said, you realise how it shapes your mind for things that happen around the world. You just see it happening all over again. And also the thing that starts to make me annoyed is that a lot of times, it gives me wee flashbacks that a lot of times English people go, oh, but that's been dealt with. And you go, no. No, it isn't. Like, I remember a guy, and it was shortly after Lyra McKee was shot. I was in Newcastle in England, and this posh English guy, it was me, a posh English guy, and a working class Geordie, drunk, talking about fucking politics in the world, as you do.
As you
With
do,
fucking
of course,
your
yeah.
fingers hitting tables, stuff like that. And obviously, with Lyra being shot and all that sort of stuff, the whole fucking country was terrified. We're like, what the fuck's this mean? We're all getting nervous and stuff like that. And this posh English guy was like, but the troubles are over. And I was like, no, they're not. Do you know what I mean? I was like, fucking things are great. And he completely just like poo-pooed it.
Yeah.
And the Geordie guy was like, mate, he fucking lives there, cunt. Like,
Yeah. And it's hard to explain. It's
but
too hard to
it's
explain.
a strange thing. I remember John Maher, great comedian, check him out, had a great line about, and I probably said this in the podcast before as well, had a great line about the troubles where he was talking to an English comedian, and the English comedian said, oh, you Irish guys, all you do is talk about the troubles. You always talk about the troubles. You just need to leave it alone, let it rest. And Maher goes, if people were getting kneecapped out the back of your primary school, you wouldn't shut the fuck up. He goes, you had one fucking day of bombing. And you got rid of bins. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking great line, actually. It's so true, too.
And there was
yeah.
like, I remember a Tommy Tiernan line about it, like Ireland, he goes, we've had 800 years of oppression. He goes, the Americans had an afternoon of it and blew up half the world.
Yeah. Oh man, it is. There's so many things that we don't. We forget that we are so well versed on, like, oppression or people taking advantage in positions of power or
Yeah.
looking down on another. We've so much of that, but it's not based on any skin color.
Yeah.
So we ours is so subtle because it's religion.
Yeah.
But we have our ways too. So we have our how you pronounce certain words or what your
What comes after G.
name is, what your surname is, and all
Right.
that sort of stuff. But yeah, outside world, I have no clue.
Oh, that's crazy.
Reg has a guy that's like his tour manager, and he's a Muslim guy, and he's from London, but he was going through. He's obviously back in Palestine and in the talks and chatting about it and stuff. And then I showed him the picture of Belfast with the fucking Palestine flag on the mountains, and he was like, "Man, I'm so confused."
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know where to start."
Aye. It's
Bruv, it's Belfast. And I went, "Yeah, it's in the UK." And I went, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I went,
He's probably thinking, but you hate English people. We're like, but don't know if you know this. You're not quite English. I don't fucking like you either, big man. That's why we're on your side. No, the Israel-Palestine thing at the minute. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the third time in my life it's come up in such a big way.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This feels like, this definitely feels like the second time I remember
definitely second
people
time,
going, this is the start of World War III.
Mm-hmm.
What I've, not to say enjoyed about it, that's the wrong way to word it, completely the wrong way to word it, but would have found noteworthy is when the Hamas attack happened and celebrities who were just going fucking like complete vitriol, and you understand it because they're of Jewish descent or they're Jewish, whatever, and just going fucking insane. And then a week later, when Israel starts attacking back, the same celebrities having to go, "Oh, I was raging there, wasn't it?" Like, like because Amy Schumer posted a massive fucking thing about, and I understand where a lot of people are coming from, where they go, if this, I heard a few people saying if this attack was carried out against any other race of people, the entire world would be fucking going mad about it, but because it's Jewish people, they don't care. And you're like, that's not really the
It's not really the case now.
But seeing those same celebrities then retracting what they were saying because they've now seen fucking babies being killed from the other side. And then Sarah Silverman, I have to say, I have so little respect for her at this point because she was posting stuff and still is posting stuff, pro-Israeli stuff. And in the middle of her Instagram story, there'll be a funny video. And I'm like, fucking stick to the point. Don't
Yeah, don't
you can't show
change the
people
tone.
fucking videos of kids getting wheeled into hospitals on stretchers and then like womp womp. Like,
No, I somebody actually asked me the other night, well, what's your stance on the whole Israel-Palestine thing? And my genuine answer was, humans are dying and rich cunts are getting richer.
it's 100, and it's always the same. It's always the way.
That formula
Always
never
the fucking
changes. Never changes. Now the military-industrial complex is going to get a load of fucking money
Aye.
pumped into them.
And it feels like they wait 10 years until 20-year-olds forget.
Yeah, it's.
Do you know what I mean? Because there's a new batch of 20-year-olds now that are like, fuck, we need to do something about this. And you go, they're going to do something about it, and it's not going to benefit anybody apart from them.
I thought we were getting closer to, oh shit, there's humans dying, but no,
Oh yeah,
they're
it's,
Jewish or they're Muslim, and like, no, they're still human beings being fucking killed.
that's the thing.
Whether they're children and who's doing it, let's go step above that.
Yeah,
and go
exactly.
Why are humans dying?
Because it's
at the hands of
that
other humans.
fucked up thing of like, so like, because when Israel came out with that statement of like, we're going to fucking wipe them out, and that's why a lot of people, and you probably,
Okay, you've got the conspiracy stuff going around, and all
but
that
not
sort
even
of
the
crack,
conspiracy stuff, but like the sort of stuff you're just seeing coming out from the Israeli government about like the retaliation and fucking the people that are supporting retaliation,
but yeah,
and you're like, the retaliation doesn't do anything apart from make more fucking
that's what I'm saying.
contempt. Like, it
But
just,
I didn't ever think, but then COVID changed everything, I suppose. But I didn't ever think in my life that you would have to argue, or you would be seen as a certain left or right wing person by saying, "Can we have peace?"
aye, but that's what happened to Corbyn. Do you know who's really fucking Rachel Riley's another one that like she's always very pro-Israeli, fair enough, but
Rachel Riley
from Countdown,
Countdown?
yeah, she's Jewish.
Oh no, yeah, but I
No,
never thought.
no foreskin.
I know.
But she was one of the big dissenters that got Corbyn kicked out.
Oh yes,
Because
I
it was
remember that. Yeah,
pro-Palestinian
yeah, okay,
stance.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
So
has she started this? On this?
she's posted stuff
right,
up
okay.
again, and what's getting eviscerated in the comments of people being like, "This is fucking propaganda you're spinning here," like because it is the difference between being anti-Semitic and not agreeing with the Israeli government's actions
Yeah.
is not the same thing. Like we've said before, it's like you're not sectarian for going, not a child abuse in the Catholic Church.
Aye. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You're pointing out-
you're
yeah.
pointing out a fact.
Yeah. There's a weird thing that happens, and I don't know if it's just here, or it should only happen here. Maybe as we know how fucking nuanced it all is.
Yeah.
Because if you took what's happening over there to our state, that means, well, one side's all in the Israeli army, and the other side is all Hamas.
Aye.
Oh, so all here was the British Army, and anybody else was IRA. It wasn't the case. There were
Aye.
so many and even within the IRA, you had the INLA, you had the
Yeah.
Provo, you had so many factions and breakups.
Can't believe it's not the IRA. Remember that one?
It's not as simple as just
Yeah.
two sides. Because then you've got civilians, and then you've got peoples and families and all that sort of stuff. There's so many
that's-
fucking.
yeah, and that's
but the
the-
way it's always put out is which side are you on? And you're like, fucking, why do I have to be on a side?
That's the fucked up thing of like, because I've had to try and explain sort of Northern Irish stuff to Australians in the last wee while, which again, you kind of forget. 'Cause only somebody asked me. It was right. We're all having dinner one night, and this woman she's Australian, her mum's Scottish, her dad's English, and she went. So let me get this straight. She goes, the North doesn't like the South doesn't like England, and nobody. And I was like, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
And then the waiter came down like more wine, and we stopped talking about it, and I was like all amped up. Like, and then I started thinking about it in my own head of how ridiculous, not ridiculous, but the way like,
Oh, it
the
really
way things
is
work
ridiculous,
here.
Like, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Do you know whenever Mia was 12 and asked me about the flag scenario? Do you see when you have to sit down and explain it to a child what it is, and you get halfway through it and you think, fuck me, this is fucking ridiculous.
Aye.
What are we fucking doing? Is it not until you do
It's
that, till you make
100%, like-
till you make it accessible to a child and simplify the whole thing, and you're like, what the actual fuck?
aye.
Over fucking, like, it's so mental. It's so fucking mental.
Because I always think about like the way it escalated here. So you have sort of like there were civil rights things happening. I talked about this before. It always it's one of the ones that I think is really ridiculous. Is that so my mum grew up in Gravaki Road, but she wasn't born there. She was born in a mixed housing estate, right? Where all of the fathers had been in World War II. So my granddad was in the RAF in World War II, right? Wasn't a pilot or anything, he was a mechanic. He would just kick tires. Also afraid of flying. This is a tangent. The only man in the RAF I think that was never in a plane. Got offered a lift home after the war in a plane and went, nah, fuck it, I'll take the boat. Took him 3 months. Could have been over in the afternoon. But so their next door neighbour was a Protestant family. That father had been in World War II. The Catholics in that particular housing estate and in Portadown, the way it was explained to me, and sorry if this fucking gets anybody annoyed or anything, but this is the way it was explained to me, was we're all moved to Gravaki Road, right? So the way the Catholics looked at it was we're being ghettoized, but the Gravaki Road was a brand new housing estate. So the Protestant working class people were going, fucking take us, you're getting better houses. Right? So when you really boil it down, the troubles escalated in Northern Ireland because of a downstairs toilet.
Probably an indoor toilet.
Do you know what I mean?
Think of the time,
Like,
yeah, that's what it was.
So there
It
was
the
shit
big-
like that happened,
yeah.
and then you end up with like, so you've got like the official IRA, whose official statement was, we're going to target economic places because the British government won't respond to people dying; they'll respond to structural damage, and then you get up the other side. Paramilitary is going, we're going to start fucking shooting people if you don't stop doing this. And then the IRA went, the fuck are you going to do? We'll split. Right? We'll be mental. You be a wee bit more mental. The official IRA went, we're not going to do anything. And then you end up Shankill Butchers somewhere in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And what happens at the end of it? Fucking fuck all. We've still
Fuck
got
all.
politicians that won't talk to each other. We
Nonsense.
still fucking
It's just,
say letter
honestly,
hate's different.
without sounding crude, there's just less funerals.
Aye.
Because
That's absolutely it.
that is the reality of it. Like, there was just so many people that lost their lives and so many funerals, and the division's still there.
Aye.
The vitriol, like we've talked about this before. The power of a stand-up comedian in Belfast could fucking destroy the room.
Oh my
you could
God.
have the audience fighting against each other just with 2 sentences.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
What would those sentences
I don't know what they would be.
up the...
No, not even that. No, I mean, you could get into and we're always on that fucking tenterhooks here.
But that's...
That could happen any time, but I genuinely don't think it ever will. I think
Yeah,
nobody here
100%.
takes it that seriously because we know where it ends up.
But there also has been a lot of reconciliation, and I do think it's again repeat myself if you listen to the podcast regularly. I always think it's weird that the first time I ever had a conversation with a Protestant, even though I was no longer a Catholic, but I still was classified as one because of the way that things were, I was 19 the first time. So I could vote before I'd fucking had a conversation with a Protestant from the other side of a town. Like, which,
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have had in depth.
but once I had a conversation with someone from the other side of the tracks, you go, "Oh, we're the same. We're the same."
It was one. I remember a youth leader said to me, I think we said it before on this about the guy called Paddy McMahon. You remember we were doing like a cross community, our youth club and the Protestant youth club coming together and going away on a trip.
It does make a cross on it.
And he said something. I was P7 when I heard it. He's like, if two of you went out in the street now and fought each other, it would all be red blood. It's all the same color. These are all the same. And I got at P7. I was like, fuck, I never thought about that.
My granny, who I never met now, she died before I was born, had a very similar saying, very poetic saying, everybody shouts out of the same hole.
That might have hit home harder, actually.
You know what I mean? Everybody shouts out of the same hole. Doesn't matter, you're rich, poor, black, white, Catholic, Protestant, Jewish or Muslim.
And as I've got older,
you all drop a dookie out of the same wee ring. Like. Everybody wipes their arse and goes, fuck.
I've said the same thing before on here. Like, in my 42 years, I have come to the conclusion that there's two types of people: you're an asshole or you're not.
Aye.
Your label of your skin color, your religion, your economic background means nothing. Aye. You're either an asshole or you're not.
Absolutely.
And I say it all the time. You can put anybody in them two categories, and it's amazing then when you do, because you're not looking at the labels. You're just looking at their actions.
Aye.
What do they actually do? Forget about who the fuck you think they are. Who are they?
Aye.
But yeah, most people don't do that. Yeah. And especially in this world, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to think that way. You have to like one or the other. This is your camp. This is their camp.
It's crazy too how quickly people are putting fucking flags of support up on their profile photos.
It was my little cousin.
Is Ukraine still happening, by the way? Not to say there's anything conspiratorial about any of this, but like...
Stop it. It was my little cousin that asked me that the other day, where do you stand on? And my actual words was, I don't give a fuck. And she went, what? And she goes, I suppose it's easier not to care. And I said, no. It's actually fucking actively harder to not give a fuck.
Aye.
But the problem is you don't want to get drawn down into that, because me getting upset, me getting worried or stressing myself about something in Israel or Palestine has absolutely zero impact on Israel or Palestine.
Aye.
So what the fuck would I be sitting here freaking balls about when there's nothing? And people go, oh, it's fucking terrible. And I'll say to them, well, what did your social media post do?
Yeah.
Tell me the lives they saved. Tell me the children that weren't killed, and tell me the fucking the families that are still together because you fucking posted up your flag. It's balls.
Aye. Netanyahu's not like...
Oh, Jesus, we shame me from fucking
I never
Rathcoole.
thought of it that way. This is like Catholics and Protestants. Call it off. Abort.
Turn off all electronic devices. That's what I say. Just fucking.
Yeah, they might be turned off when the fucking bomb
Well,
starts.
that's it. Well, that's what's supposed to happen.
But then, and this, I know we could probably sidestep this by going, this is for JRO, but you know what, we're like trying to get those made. Where do things stand? Somebody told me recently there was a video of Netanyahu saying they had to secretly back Hamas to get them to carry something out so they could fucking like false flagging type of shit. Like,
again, I always say to everybody involved in this, or who think they're involved in this fucking thing, take it back to here. Everybody in IRA was not committed to IRA. There was touts in that. There were fucking agents. There were intelligence. We know all this. We know that people, but we still, for some fucking reason, can't think of. There may be nuance, there may be details we don't know about in this other country. We have the arrogance to go, well, we fucking know it.
Aye.
You're like, no, you don't. We still don't know the fucking truth of here.
Aye.
30 years after it's happened.
Very true.
I don't think we ever will after that new amnesty bill. So
was there a new amnesty bill?
Well, the thing they're putting through.
What's this one? See, this is me, not fucking...
It looks like it's going to be forgotten about. Draw a line in the sand. And that's easy to say for somebody that doesn't have a family member killed or murdered or lost or disappeared. But yeah, I always just say, relate it back to here. If somebody says to you, Hamas is all completely committed to the fight, you go, how do you know?
Aye.
They thought everybody in IRA was completely committed, but there was people that turned coats.
I've told you the argument I had with my own mother during the last war on terror. where she's just come out with something. And it was one of those things. Do you know when you hear somebody say something and you go, I know that's not what you think. You've read
just-
that and
yeah.
regurgitated
Oh,
something.
I've seen some regurgitation
Do
the
you know what I
last
mean?
fucking few weeks.
You've just come out with that.
yeah.
And
No original thought at all. No.
and she said something about it was something along the lines of all Muslims are terrorists. And I remember being like, what? And she went,
That was
yeah.
him doing a break, by the way. It wasn't him
Yeah,
putting
sorry.
down the parrot. He got it from Australia.
That's what they sound like. They go, fuck that, please, mate. I just wanted a cracker. And I'm like, you can't call me that.
Well,
But let me real quick.
right, I'll come back to that.
My mum was
go,
like,
go.
yeah, all Muslims are terrorists. They're all extremists. And I went,
That was a thing that was said at the
that
time.
was the thing. I
After
remember
9/11.
thinking,
like,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
thinking it at one point myself
done
because it
on
was
purpose,
all
like,
over the
yeah.
news. And I remember being like, don't forget your opinion. It was like, to somebody, you're a fucking tig.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, I know you're not. You know you're not. That
to somebody else,
that
yeah.
means somebody, so fucking
Yeah,
pull
it's
your head out of your hole
absolutely, yeah.
that you shout out at the same as a Muslim. I said,
No, just when you mentioned that you can't call me that, that was the weirdest thing about being with Rage for 5 days.
you had to stop saying the N word.
Didn't stop saying the N-word and the C-word. These crackers are fucking... It was crackers all the time. I was like, oh, Rage. This is
Sorry for you. I mean, it's not really that offensive, is it? Like,
Why not?
because it isn't.
I
Do
was
you
like,
know
listen
what I mean?
here, listen here, my ninja.
Louis C.K., who you can't really bring up. It's a shame he did what he did because he made some good points. But here's the thing about, like, what's the worst thing you can do to a white person? Call me a cracker? Oh no. Reminded me of a time when I had land and power. Like,
No, but well, for me, it
is
was like...
cracker, by the way, something to do with whips?
Yeah, I think it's the crack. I think it is the
Yeah.
crack of the whips, yeah, because they were the slave masters. But in that sense, then crackers could be black because they were African. You know,
I would the majority were.
yeah, but the African kings had to gather up the fucking slaves. You know what I mean? It was like there was a lot of. As I'm saying, there's a lot of
Yeah,
stuff doesn't be
a lot
talked
of
about.
nuance
There's a lot of
stuff, yeah.
nuances, like again, a lot of detail. It's not just like fucking. It wasn't Jurassic Park Lost World. They just came a load of nets and just caught like they were fucking. They were gathered up and fucking put on the boat. Like, you know.
Sorry, there's a whole thing in my head happening here that I'm.
Did you ever see Jurassic Park Lost World where they have to go and
I'm just trying to remember
fire
bits of it.
nets
Aye.
trying to capture them? It wasn't
I know.
like that.
That the,
It was African tribes leaders who...
come here. Come here.
No, they had...
Just
as well as the white people,
Yeah, yeah.
obviously. But I mean, what I'm saying is...
had a pair of Jordans. So. Come on. I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck me. It's good to have you back, but...
But again, we're not making fun of race.
No, I mean, we're
making
trying
fun
to-
of racism.
Yeah.
It is fucked though, and you just hope
I
the fuck-
just think it's gonna be an excuse to go into full out war.
Aye.
And they're gonna use it as an excuse, and then again, like I say, humans will die, rich cunts will get richer.
Yeah, I know it's fucked because it is down to like, and a lot of the stuff you see on social media as well. It's people who aren't of fighting age.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Neither are we. There's no way you diverticulitis. I have psoriasis. We're not getting called up.
No, I'm
Do you know what I mean? We'd be fucking dad's army is the at
Yeah.
most.
I'll be peeling spuds.
But it's fucked because it does remind me of like I remember being 16 when the first one in the Iraq and Afghanistan. I was 15 or 16 and being in a pub and we were so afraid. A mate of mine was like, we were drunk. Like my mate was like, mate, see if we could call up the war. I've got your back. I was like, man, I've just had a fucking abscess removed from my butt crack. I'm gonna be here cleaning up with women. But I remember that being a genuine sort of fear in
That was,
our
again,
mindset
the propaganda
then.
and
Like,
the fear that was fired into you, like, and that was fired into all of us, not just and
probably
wasn't
shouldn't
people.
say fired into.
Oh, I shouldn't say that. But it's not that people fell for it. It's just that's what you were.
everywhere,
That was everywhere, and it was in the mindset. But the good thing has been this last number of years that people aren't just taking everything at face value. People are genuinely questioning things and looking. Some are doing it too much, to be honest. But there are times where the questions are good.
Yeah.
Because you have to ask the question of what happened that first time in Israel. The most fucking militarized fucking border there is.
Aye.
With a 300-meter fucking... And they got bulldozers in to take...
Aye. Did they come in hang gliders to the festival as well?
the festivals hanging, but the bulldozers come in and cut the... Like, a bulldozer?
Aye.
It's not a fucking Lamborghini. It takes a while to
You're
get
telling
there.
me you've got that Iron Dome thing. Aye, exactly.
It
Yeah,
takes a
yeah.
while to get there.
Aye.
There's boys with binoculars.
Tell you what, that wasn't Hamas. That was two fucking culties trying to get an ATM. That might have been 2 hour boys.
Two boys from South Armagh.
What the fuck? Do they have Euros over here? Do they?
So there definitely is questions to be asked. But then, I mean, if because I don't get involved in it because I as well as not, like, I just don't really understand all the nuances, so I don't pretend to. But I do know some people who have been like avid fucking Palestinian supporters for fucking 20 years or whatever. And I asked one of them, you know, what the crack was about that first day, and they let them in.
Aye.
I was like, why? And he goes, because then they have the excuse to fucking flatten Gaza and take it. And I was like, oh, okay.
It's always the way. It's happened in.
But again, that's just, you know, but that's coming from a very serious, slanted version because they are Palestine supporters. The same, and there's, you know.
But it's also how every war has started ever.
Mm-hmm.
No, do you ever see the from World War One when the torpedoed the Lusitania?
Oh, yeah.
And there was a thing that I've seen there recently. The German government put an article in a British newspaper going, we have found out that there's a plan to sail a fucking, because was it a medical ship?
There was something in that it was being used for something like humanitarian or something like that.
They're like, we have found this fucking plan from the British government that they're going to sail this ship into our territory, knowing full well because we're at war, we're going to have to torpedo it, and they're doing it to get
it going.
Support from America. And so, just so you know, this is going to happen. We are going to have to do this, but it's not our idea. And then you've got fucking all the other shit like Vietnam. They've come out. That's been admitted. The Gulf of Tonga was Tongan, fucking Tonga. False flag. All that sort of, so it happens all the time.
Yeah, they've got good at it, but it's just this time they've got social media to sort of back it up, and to the propaganda is fucking it's thick and deep, like, and it's coming at you fast. That's why when I say about it's actively harder work to not give a fuck, is because it's everywhere. The speed as well. That, like, because I had done it once with Facebook, where I started liking stuff that I didn't agree with, just to see what would happen to the algorithm. Because after Corbyn lost the election, I realized it was in an echo chamber of people who supported him, because I thought he was going to walk the election, because my social media was just all pro Corbyn stuff. Yeah, I don't think you were alone in that. I thought the same, and I wasn't really. But at the time, as a wee test, I just thought, right, I'll just fucking flip this around. And that was pre-TikTok, right? I've done the same on TikTok, and the speed that thing has you in a fucking echo chamber must be brutal. Of absolute horseshit. Because not only does it fucking take into consideration what you like, it takes into consideration how long you stare at it. Oh, right. Fuck. So if you're flicking through TikTok and something comes up about a fingering technique, and you go, oh, right. All of a sudden, it's all fingering. Don't ask me how I know that. I must get me some TikTok. Do you know what I mean? But like, there's the speed that it happens is, and you don't realize it until you've been fucking, because I've done it many a time with TikTok where I'm so clocked in just scrolling. And then you go, what the fuck am I watching? Like, I know, I'm so glad I don't have it. I know I would fall into that trap too, like, but no. And again, it's one of those things but the algorithms are fucking smart. Oh, man, yeah. But as you see yourself getting older, you see a whole generation of people loving it. And you go, this is fucked up. Like, yeah, your whole being has been shaped by an algorithm because they think this is who they are. Without a challenge, and that can be used for whatever fucking. Well, you should challenge yourself. You should question everything. You know what I mean? You should question anything you're told. But like you say, an echo chamber is most people don't know they're in one. Aye, it's because of the echo. Dude, but you really don't. Like, sorry, your wee fucking stomach's bad today, isn't it? I'm not well today. Well, here, we'll wrap this one up quick. That was a bit of a serious podcast. We'll wrap it up because you need a wee painkiller in you. I need to do something, yeah. Thanks very much for listening. Sorry for that. I just need to get that out of my chest. We are serious. Do you know what I mean? It's not all dick jokes. Like, no, I mean, I know I threw in finger in that Jordan thing, but that was just a bit of sugar for the coffee. Look after yourself and your mental health. That's the most important thing. What I would say. Because it will, like we've said on Just Rapping On, this last 3, maybe 4 years has been like a psychological warfare. And there's only so much your mind can take. So look after it. Tell you what to do. Go out and see a comedy show. Maybe the 17th of November, the 14th, 15th, 16th of December. Yeah. And the 9th of December. And fuck up when you're there. Well, laugh. Aye, laugh. But, you know, like, the rest of it. A bit of fucking to and fro, but just know when you've been bait. Aye. And if you've seen me in the last 10 years and you started no at the end of every fucking joke and then told me that I've got better, even though you weren't listening to that, fucking doesn't matter. Thanks very much for listening. See you later.